Everything to know about the characteristics of a Taurus. Candidly, growing up a Taurus was not my favorite thing. Candidly, growing up a Taurus was not my favorite thing. Thinking about it now just conjures memories of opening a teen magazine. And because of the characteristics of a Taurus, I get something like neutral, because you're earthy. I used to find neutral nails super boring. And that makes sense, given that we're naturally loyal, loving, and adoring, big on hugs, cuddling, and, showing our affection. But with Taurus season about to start, I could use a refresher on the core traits of my home sign, how characteristics of a Taurus translate to career. Taurians are creative, and so may pursue. Not only is she a fellow bull, and my cosmic April 25th birthday twin, but she also wrote the definitive guide to the sign, Zodiac Signs, Taurus. So whether you yourself were born between April 19th and May 20th, or you just love someone who was, brush up your knowledge below, with this expert-led primer on all the characteristics of a Taurus, from personality traits, and compatibility to ideal careers, and more. Telltale characteristics of a Taurus. Taurians are down-to-earth people, which makes sense, as they are one of the 3 earth signs, along with Virgo and Capricorn, says O'Reilly. Every sign is governed by a planet, and Taurus is Venus's child, so it's no surprise that they are sensual, tactile, and sensory-oriented beings. Taurus is also a fixed sign, so people born with the sun, in the sign of Taurus are quite steadfast and reliable. Taurians are super creative, affable, calm, consistent, and persevering. They're some of the most thorough people you'll ever meet. Astrologer Courtney O'Reilly. With a headstrong determination, Taurians are able to accomplish anything, they set their bull horns too. And while slow and steady is their game, that's just because they're a methodical group, resigning themselves to do what they intend and to do it well. The flip side of this commendable determination is that, a Taurus is known for being aggressively immovable and stubborn. Their fixed sign energy makes rolling with the punches rough, to say the least. Taurus is a security-oriented sign, and so they're not easily persuaded to change their course, says O'Reilly, adding that when they do accept new ideas or shift gears, it's on their own terms. Given the facts and the time to consider, they may come around, but only because it was their decision to do so in the end. How to get along with a Taurus. Despite the naturally tempestuous nature of a Taurus, O'Reilly repeats what I believe in my heart of hearts, as a general theme for getting along with a bull: it's not hard, honestly. And that makes sense, given that we're naturally loyal, loving, and adoring, big on hugs, cuddling, and, showing our affection in other touchy-feely sexy ways. Taurians are easygoing by nature and are quite affable, thanks to Venus, planet of love, affection, and friendship, being their ruling planet, she says. But to earn a spot in their good graces, lay off the communication games, and say what you mean, especially if you have compliments to offer. Taurus is not the sign lacking common sense, so they appreciate clear, direct communication, says O'Reilly. They like to know where they stand, and they also thrive on acknowledgement for their effort. They want to be helpful, and so it warms their heart to know they're appreciated. What a Taurus needs in order to be happy. Taurus is the sign traditionally linked with the middle of spring, when the earth is in full bloom and lush, and so for Taurus, getting out in nature is important, says O'Reilly. It's likely that a Taurian's dominant love language is receiving gifts, with a secondary influence of physical touch and, probably some words of affirmation, too. The key characteristics of a Taurus that translate to happiness largely center on being supremely loved. That being said, Taurians also love things, and beautiful things at that. Since Taurus senses are so finely tuned, they adore beautifully prepared food, fine wine, and also bodywork. Regular bookings for massage, Reiki, or a facial are deeply nourishing, O'Reilly says. And all of these things cost money, so to fuel that long-term happiness, a Taurus needs money. Their ruling planet, Venus, is a financial planet, so establishing a nest egg, and being on top of finances offers Taurus peace of mind, she adds. Taurus compatibility. Like many astrologers, O'Reilly is big on the belief that, technically, any 2 signs can be compatible. While some pairings may take a little more effort, compatibility is complex, and Taurus can find companionship with anyone on the wheel. But for an easy cheat sheet for inferring with broad strokes which signs may get along, refer to the elements. Taurus is known to have a natural affinity to fellow Earth signs, Virgo and Capricorn, who really understand why practicality and staying grounded can yield a sense of fulfillment. Taurus also love the water signs. The elements earth and water together are fertile, flowers grow. Similarly, air and fire adore one another as air makes fire bigger and burn brighter, says O'Reilly. To that end, Taurus may be drawn to Pisces, an empathetic sage who will empathize with your more tender side. Or Cancer, a happy homebody who will nurture and cook for you. How characteristics of a Taurus translate to career. Taurians are creative, and so may pursue careers in entertainment, especially in performance, think dancer or vocalist, O'Reilly says, adding that Taurus rules the neck, throat, and vocal cords, so they often have lovely voices and are talented singers. To name drop a few, Kelly Clarkson, Adele, Bing Crosby, Ella Fitzgerald, Janet Jackson, Lizzo, Sam Smith, Stevie Wonder, Cher are all Taurians. But if you're a Taurus who can only carry a tune in the shower, there are plenty of other professional arenas where you will thrive. Their earthy, sensual nature also makes them a natural in the food industry, say as a chef, sommelier, chocolatier, or gourmet grocer, says O'Reilly. Their heightened senses and affinity for beauty means they may also do well in the beauty and wellness realm, perfumer, masseuse, Reiki practitioner, or esthetician. They're also a financial sign and do well in banking, finance, and real estate. So ultimately, the essence of Taurus goes so much deeper than being earthy. But, yes, I did happen to type this with a beige manicure, but it's also gel with a holographic stripe down the center. It's called being practical and glamorous.